I just hope I have a job on Monday after this.
Well, Jason, when I was in 5th grade, I remember getting a pair of Hirachis because these guys wore them in the first Duke game. And tell me where you were at in your life when they were playing, and how did you get involved with Jalen in the project?
I got a call in July or August of last year from a buddy of mine named Aaron Cohen, who I'm not sure if he's in this theater or the other one, but he said that he was going to write a documentary for Jalen about the Fab Five, and they were looking for a director. And being one of the kids who was 14 or 13 years old, pulling his tiny ass short stack to his hamstrings to look like the Fab Five with the rest of my teammates in suburban Boston, walked into a meeting with Jalen. We sat there, and before he even sat down, I said, "We got to tell it warts and all." And I remember him putting a cup of tea down on the table and taking his jacket off and saying the warts are the most important part. And then we talked for the next hour and 15 minutes about early 90s rap. Nothing about filmmaking. So I left and I was like, all right, well, that went well. That's why I didn't And before I got back to my apartment, I got a call in my car. And they said, do you want to work with us on this? And I was like, of course.
Here we are. Yeah. Jalen, I love how the film documents how you guys all came together to sign with Michigan. How did everybody come together for the movie? Did you reach out first to Ray and Jimmy, and how did you assemble everybody for the film?
Well, we were really excited that ESPN chose to do our story. You know, it's not brain surgery to do the Fab Five story, but no one had done it. So I'm thankful to ESPN, Connor Shell, John Dahl, you know, my agent Nick Kahn, for creating the right opportunity at the right time. And everybody was excited. They were pumped. You see Juwan sending pictures, Jimmy sending video. You see Jimmy with the open-toe sandals. I mean, come on now, that's classic material.
Well, that's what's great about the film, is that there is so much archival footage, and as a director, I would imagine there's maybe even times when it was overwhelming having so much stuff to play with.
I mean, I haven't been in many situations where it's been overwhelming. We did have a lot, and there's RAPs who, Adam Marinelli and Nicky Spezzaris spent about 18 man-months in a span of 3 months actually going through all their archival footage, making all the phone calls, so round of applause for them, please. I give all credit to them for gathering all that, but we, like Jalen said, we did have the cooperation of Coach Dutcher giving us those home videos, Coach Fisher giving us the letters, Jimmy Kane giving us his home videos, Juwan giving us his photos, Jalen's grandmother and mom who should be listed as executive producers on this thing for all they gave. So it was a wealth of stuff, and really that's, from the outset, we said that's what's going to make the difference, is not just highlights for 2 hours, but let's get inside these guys' lives.
Jalen, how often do you talk to the guys and get a chance to see them still?
Actually, I was with Jimmy and Ray yesterday at ESPN. And I want to give a shout to Keith Klinkskill, too, because
Keith.
You know, makes this thing possible for me. And he was the guy I talked to about this, and I just wanted to make sure I had a job on Monday. I mean, I'm in there with a Miami Hurricane sweater and a 40-ounce. I'm like, I need a job on Monday. So I really just appreciated all the guys. They were excited about doing it. And since it was a story about 91 and 93, nothing affected the integrity of the story. It was just never told. So it was just an opportunity for us to tell it, and we were excited about it.
Well, we have a standing room only crowd here, and we were turning people away, so I'm sure people here have questions for these guys. So I do this for a living. I'll fall back. If anybody has a question for Jalen or Jason, please just raise your hand and we'll call on you.
I recognize a lot of influence in y'all group from the UNLV Running Rebels, where you guys were kind of like this extension of ne'er-do-wells. And you were so much like that team, and you guys both had the same common enemy, which was Duke. So I love your commentary about Duke, and I understand it wasn't really about those players, but it was what they made the school and the team portray, and what you guys had to portray.
A lot of people don't know that Anderson Hunt, who was the 1990 MVP of the Final Four, me and him went to the same high school, and he was a member of the UNLV team. So I didn't have a uniform, but I was a part of their team in high school too. I was rocking their jerseys, I was rocking their shirts. I went to Vegas a couple of times. To be honest, I was going to Vegas. I was not going to Michigan, but I knew they was going on probation. So I was like, Like, I was a part of their team. I idolized them. And they were a huge influence to what we did. I watched the 1991 finals when they lost to Duke at Anderson Hunt's house. Like, I cried when they lost to Duke. I never knew the next year I'd be playing against Duke. So I had a built-in hatred for them already. It had nothing to do with sports. Like, I didn't like them because they beat Vegas. So when I got a chance to play against them, I was just young and dumb on that stage.
I can give one story that we almost got in there, which will probably be on the DVD, is the first time these guys ever met and were all five in the same room, because Ray didn't play in the McDonald's game, was at a dorm called South Quad, where they all lived freshman year. And about 45 minutes into hanging out and playing video games, they decided they wanted to go down, and you can pick up this story, and play on this outdoor court, just pickup. So we literally Craigslisted and Facebooked and tried to get in touch with the poor bastards who had the court at the time that the Fab Five came on, but we couldn't get any footage or photos or anything. But
yeah, me being a Detroit native, a lot of people don't know. Like, I wore number 42 in high school, out of spite of my biological father that you saw who wore 24. I wore number 5 because I was the 5th person to sign. And being a Detroit native, I was the last one to come. You know, like Jed Clampett had all my stuff in the back of the car, and my mother dropped me off. I'm like, Mom, you gotta park down the street. I don't want them to hear the muffler dragging, you know what I mean? So we got into the room, and we were all just kicking it and really created that bond. And 30 to 45 minutes later, it was almost, in New York, for example, it's like Rucker Park. We was outside playing ball 45 minutes after we all were in the same place at the same time. And throwing lobs off of the building, off the backboard, backwards dunks, like, we were really into it. And we looked up, everybody seemed like they was out of their dorm room, like cheering for us, throwing stuff at us, like appreciating us. I would have loved for that to be in a movie because, you know, that was monumental for us. That was the first time we played together.
Guys, I want to thank you all for coming.